So this video came about as a result of an incident, which I then made this reel about.
Young French, 808.
Which then received these comments. So if you spent any time on the roads, you would know that it can feel a lot like this. It often feels like drivers are actually trying to kill me, and on reflection, I think this is ideological. These drivers believe that we have no place on the roads, and therefore choosing to be on the roads means that our life is 100% in our hands. You can't debate them, you can't convince them, you can only try to stay safe out there. So with that in mind, here are 5 ways that you can try to be safer on the road, and also 2 bonus ones. Okay, so number 1 is ride the cycle paths. This one is the most obvious, and it's also the safest option. If you have cycle paths available to you, you should use them. This isn't a perfect solution, and I know that a lot of cycle paths are crap. The one closest to me just ends and becomes a road lane with no markings or no notice to cyclists on it. I know that they're not perfect, but if you can include these on your commute, you will thank yourself for them. Lights, lights, lights. Staying visible isn't just safer, it's also illegal not to in most countries, including Australia. If you do not have lights on your bike and you get into an accident, you could actually be in some sort of legal hot water proving your case. However, it also makes it easier for the 99% of drivers that, though perhaps begrudgingly in some cases, genuinely want to share the road with you. Project Flock makes an excellent light that sort of shines a light down onto your legs to show how wide you are to drivers. And this can make you seem more human and also allow drivers to execute a safer pass because they can see actually what they're trying to pass. And there are also lights that shine a beam down onto the road to show the width of you as a person. This can be helpful too. Either way, a good rear light run 24/7, night or day, and a flashing light on the front. Low power is fine, plus at night a strong headlight to light up the road is essential. Number 3 is film. Especially if you're running alone, film your rides. This doesn't prevent you from getting into accidents, but it will make it significantly easier to prosecute a case if you do get into an accident. Some of the action cameras are becoming cheaper, and you can use these if there are points where you know that there is a higher traffic or a higher chance of an incident on a ride, although they won't last for the entire ride, and that can present problems. Action cameras like the Fly 6 and Fly 12 by Cyclic are excellent options because they double as a front and rear light. Garmin makes options for this as well, and these can help you record your entire ride and have the plus side of getting you some sick footage that you can then put on YouTube and be a sick dude like me. So, front and rear lights that are action cameras as well, super beneficial in regards to capturing footage that can help you down the road if you need to take it to the police. If you want an example to proof of concept, I guess, of this, have a look at action or dash cams in cars and how that is changing the way that people drive because they know their actions can be caught on these cameras and then provided to police or put up on the internet so that I can watch dash cam owners of Australia. Number 4 is radars. Rear radars can be super beneficial, and they're actually not that expensive anymore. They connect with your head unit and they go for about $150 for the Magen to $250 for the Garmin. Now, if this is too much for you, the alternative is you can buy one of these sick things. The little mirrors make you look like an absolute hubbard. Visibility on them is pretty terrible, but you can see cars coming, and that can make you feel a lot more comfortable, and these cost about $25. So there's some alternatives to the radars, but the radars are pretty good, and they also double as a light, so you're getting two things for the price of one. Number 5 is ride defensively. This was a common response to the question I put up on Instagram. Basically, it was worded as ride as if every driver is trying to kill you. What this means is, if you can, ride in a group. It creates witnesses if there is an incident, and it also means that drivers have to overtake you when it is safe instead of trying to squeeze on past you. If you are riding alone, you're commuting to work, or you just are doing a training ride, take the lane. Operate about half a metre in from the lane so that all up you take up about 1 metre to 1.5 metres of the lane, and this forces, again, cars to overtake you when it is safe. It puts the power more in your hands to choose when the driver is going to overtake you by moving further across towards the edge of the lane when it is safe for you to allow that driver to pass, instead of having close passes with drivers trying to squeeze past you without considering your safety. Make your hand gestures really obvious and visible. Wear bright clothing. I don't know why cycling fashion has decided that dark clothing is chic, but bright clothing. Try to not use music. It's a jungle out there. Give yourself the best chance of survival that you can.
Wild card, bitches! Yeah!
Number 1 is ride considerately. I was reticent to put this on here because I don't think you're an agent of change so much in this. I think you are up to the whims of the driver and the opinion that they've already formulated about cyclists. However, you can prevent new drivers formulating those negative opinions by doing a couple of things. Number 1, when it is safe to do so, pull over to the side of the road, let cars pass. If it is a truck, pull over to the side of the road and stop and let the truck pass if it is safe to do so. Truckers are paid on time, and you do slow them down a little bit, and this can create frustration for people that are really on the time crunch. So do them a favor, and you might change a truck driver's attitude, and you might make that dude's day, which would be super hectic. Stop at stop signs, even though it is impractical to do so, and really a lot of studies show that it is less safe for cyclists when they do stop at stop signs. It is also less safe for other traffic users because it slows down the overall movement of traffic. Stop at red lights. Don't run them. It's a basic road rule. Follow it. It's a public image disaster when you do. Just because you can contraflow doesn't mean that you should. Only weave through traffic if you know that you will not hold that traffic up further on, because what you're doing is creating problems for other road users, and that's just super inconsiderate, and it's a dick move. If you do that, you are creating frustration with cyclists. You are not part of the problem. The problem is separate, but you aren't helping yourself at all, and you're also not helping other people. This is bigger than you, man. You do that, you're a gronk. Number 2 is ride gravel. I don't ride gravel. I don't have a gravel bike, and the idea of driving to a place to ride gravel sounds silly to me, but people love it, and the reason why it's growing so much is because it is riding essentially a road bike without cars, and that actually sounds pretty good. So if you're thinking about starting out, you live somewhere where there's a lot of off-road tracks, maybe instead of buying the road bike, buy the gravel bike. You can do both. Chuck a couple of slicks on there and you're good to go on the road, or just ride on the road with some wider tyres. Gravel can be an alternative that can keep you out of the way of traffic, and this might just make you feel so much happier in the sport. Anyway, that's it for the video. Got some super cool stuff coming up, so make sure you're subscribed. I'm basically going to be trialing the entire Shimano Pro saddle range just to try and stop my boys falling asleep on the indoor bike trainer, as well as a partnership with Santic where I'm going to be doing some vlogging. So yeah, some cool things. Make sure you're here for it. Anyway, rock on.